Since then, we've asked more hands in securing this place. And presently, with this level of relief materials kept here, so my DGs asked me to make an appeal. Since I'm here working for the agency, if the state government can give NEMA a land to build a warehouse in a more secure place, because we wouldn't know what will happen. The security men we have here, they are not armed. They are just civilian security personnel, sir. So this is an appeal that my DG said I should make before on his behalf for the state government, sir.
Okay. Secretary Government of Imo State, Chief Cosman Siwu, Executive Secretary of State, Emergency Management Agency, the head of the NEMA office in Owerri, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have come here at the instance of His Excellency the Governor. The items that have been donated by the National Emergency Management Agency to Imo State for the use of flood victims, those affected by flood in Imo State. His Excellency wanted to personally come to receive this, but he's been very seriously engaged with meetings and consequently had asked that the Secretary to Government and I should come and receive them on his behalf. And so we want to acknowledge the receipt of the items that are in this warehouse and to most sincerely appreciate NEMA, National Emergency Management Agency, the Honorable Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, as well as His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, for the kindness of the federal government to give to Imo State this quantity of palliatives for our affected flood victims. The issue of the flood that we had this year was one that was, I think, essentially predicted. But I don't think that the magnitude we saw was actually what was just in the prediction. I thought we saw a lot more havoc done by the flood this year than it had ever happened for a very, very long time. And so in Imo State, we've had the opportunity of visiting many of these flooded sites, as well as flooded victims, and seen a lot of the flooded victims who for a long time were in IDP camps. And in our initial reaction, we took some palliatives to them in all the local governments that were affected. But unfortunately, what the state was able to provide was certainly inadequate for the needs that were on the ground. We thank God that the flood is receding, and some of the very brave flood victims have returned to their homes. But that said, their needs, of course, have escalated because most of the things they had in their houses had been destroyed by water, or in fact carried away by water. And so receiving these food items, receiving the non-food items, will certainly go somewhere to helping these affected flood victims. But one must say that without mincing words, that this may not be adequate for giving those people some reasonable form of relief. We appreciate it, and like was demanded, we shall ensure that all these items that have been listed here will be given to these flood victims. We know this is going to be inadequate for them, and consequently, the state is open to all who may be able to provide additional relief materials to these flood victims in Imo State. We will involve NEMA, just like we will involve our own SEMA, the State Emergency Management Agency, in the distribution of these items, so that it is clear that these items are going to those who are designated as needy and have been affected by the floods. For Nigeria, our prayer is that we don't have this kind of floods again. For Nigeria also, it is important for us to think ahead and make plans to ensure that even if we have floods, that the floods do not have this kind of effect on us. And this is why His Excellency the Governor has worked very hard with the federal government and gotten approval for the dredging of the Rashi River. When the Rashi River is dredged and expanded, it is possible that more water can go to the sea. And so we hope that that singular effort may actually reduce quite a bit of the effect, future devastations that we may have from floods. But for this year, the state will have to cope. These affected people have to cope. And for anybody and all bodies, philanthropic organizations, individuals with resources are welcome to help Imo State to deal with the challenge of flood victims in the state. In the meantime, we'd like to thank them again for what you have done. We thank our Minister for Humanitarian Affairs, and of course, we thank our President. Very well disposed to Imo State. We thank him for the favor of these resources, which we certainly will apply as is required. I thank you very much. And thank you.
Ifeanyi is my name. I'm the NEMA Head of Operation, NEMA Owerri Operations Office in Imo State. Today we are to flag off the distribution and also to officially hand off the relief materials approved by the federal government of Nigeria through the National Emergency Management Agency to be distributed to flood-affected persons in Imo State.
So give us the breakdown of items we have here.
Item approved to be distributed both food and non-food items. The food items comprise of the 1,400 bags of 10 kg rice, 1,400 bags of 10 kg maize, 1,400 bags of 10 kg beans. And we have 75 kegs of vegetable oil. We have 75 cartons of seasoning cubes. We have 75 cartons of sachet tomatoes. In non-food items, we have also blankets. We have nylon mats. We have men's wear, women's wear, children's wear. We also have brocades. We have bath soap. So all these items were approved for flood-affected persons in Imo State.
It's okay. Thank you.